10 tarot cards that can predict or foretell infidelity in a love tarot reading. Now, I know this is a topic that is kind of hard to approach, and a lot of us don't want these answers, but the truth of the matter is that we are in relationships and these things can happen. And I get a lot of people who ask me for love readings. I get a lot of people who ask me, what do the cards say when it comes to, cheating, affairs, infidelity? So I thought I would make this video to help you guys who are learning tarot how to see in the cards signs of infidelity, okay? Now, this is a disclaimer. Before I tell you guys what these cards are, I want you to use your own discernment and your own intuition, because if you're sitting there doing a reading, just because you see this card pop up does not mean necessarily that that is what's going on, okay? Every single spread's different, and you're going to want to use your intuition of what those cards are telling you. But anyway, let's get into what the 10 cards are. We're going to start off first with the one that I think is a little bit obvious. I think it's the most obvious out of the deck, and that would be the Three of Swords, okay? So the Three of Swords, if you look at this card, it just looks like heartbreak. It just has heartbreak written all over it. It's a heart with 3 swords penetrating through it. It's rainy, it's gloomy, and some may say that the third sword penetrating the heart has to do with the third person being brought into the relationship. So if this card comes out in your reading, that is what it could represent. Next, we have the Magician. So I want you to think of it like this. Now, a lot of the time, the Magician will come out and this represents something that we're manifesting, or, that you're just someone who is creating a lot of things in life. That's great. But when it comes specifically to a love reading, it could represent someone that's being kind of a trickster, okay? So think of magicians. They perform, right? They have showmanship. They're presenting us things, but they want us to see things the way they want us to see them, right? They always have something up their sleeve that they're not always revealing. So that's why when it comes to a love reading, when the Magician comes out, it can show that someone is kind of pulling a fast one on you. They're tricking you in some way. And this could tie into infidelity, okay? We have the Seven of Swords. Now with the Seven of Swords, this one is a little bit more cut and dry, because the Seven of Swords, the definition of that card, it literally has to do with infidelity, deception. Sorry, not necessarily infidelity, but deception, being lied to in some way. And, swords have to do with words and thoughts. So this is saying, like, the truth of what we're speaking, the truth of what someone's making you think. It's not actually the truth, okay? Then we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords has to do with, when this card comes out in a love reading, it can indicate infidelity in the sense of the other woman, right? So it's saying that the other woman, perhaps if the other woman knows about you, they're wishing you ill will. Or maybe they know about you, but they're jealous of you, okay? So if the Queen of Swords comes out in a reading, that could be indicating that there's a third woman, another woman, who has feelings about a certain way towards you, okay? Now we have the Moon. The Moon has to do with things happening in the dark. So this can tie into infidelity, because it's like we can't see everything that's happening in the dark. And the Moon's also a very intuitive card. So you might be having this intuition that something's going on, but you don't know what it is, right? Because the Moon has to do with intuition, but things happening in the dark. So that's how this card can tie in an infidelity reading. Speaking of intuition, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess might come out in a love reading when it comes to infidelity, because this is Spirit saying you're very intuitive, right? The High Priestess has to do with intuition. And this is saying that deep down, you actually know the answer here, okay? You know deep down. I mean, you're just wanting the tarot cards to validate what you already feel deep within yourself. And this is Spirit's way of saying you don't really need the cards. You already know. So listen to your intuition. Your intuition's right, okay? So that's a way that that card could indicate infidelity. We have the Tower card. Okay, so the Tower card comes out whenever it's sudden change, right? Sudden upheaval, but it's a divine guidance type of timing, okay? How does this tie into infidelity? Well, it can say that, yes, something is going on and you're going to find out, but it's going to be in a way that you didn't expect. So maybe there is infidelity going on, but you find out it's like with your parent or with your boss or, with the same sex. It's in a way that's like, yes, you're catching on to something, but there's something very unexpected about it, something that really kind of throws you off guard. But you are supposed to find out about it in divine timing, and it might come a little out of the blue. So that's how the Tower card could tie into infidelity, indicating infidelity within a love reading, okay? Then we have the Fool. The Fool has to do with, we don't have the wisdom that the world has. So we could be acting foolishly. We could be doing things that we know might get us into trouble or might hurt us or might hurt others, right? The Fool, think about this. This card, they're walking, and not only are they walking themselves, but in the traditional deck, they're walking a little dog too, which can indicate someone else getting hurt because they're following your lead, right? They're trusting you. But if you're not careful and you take a wrong step, you could fall off the cliff and get hurt. So that's how the Fool can indicate infidelity. It's just talking about you're being foolish. You're not thinking your actions through. We have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands can indicate infidelity because it's a very sexually charged card. So whenever this card comes out, it could say that your partner has these desires, and if they're not careful or if temptation comes along, they might want to act on those temptations or those desires without really thinking it through. It's just saying that they're not necessarily cheating, but it has energy. There's energy going on to where it could manifest, okay? Last but not least, we have the Two of Pentacles. And whenever this card comes out in a love reading, it can indicate infidelity because it could be showing that, the Two of Pentacles, we're juggling two big decisions. And with this decision comes, we have to decide about how we're going to invest our time, our energy, and our money. And whenever we're juggling two different people, this can show in this card because it's saying that, we're having to really make a decision. Like, are we really going to go forward? Are we going to get ourselves in trouble because we're having to juggle two different people? Or maybe we're just trying to decide who the heck we should pick when it comes to this, okay? So those are 10 cards that could indicate infidelity in a tarot reading, okay? But I really want to emphasize, whenever you're doing a reading, just because these cards come out does not guarantee that that's what's going on, okay? So whenever you're really worked up about something and you really are wanting answers very badly, and, you're not sure if it's your intuition or if it's anxiety, then that's not the time to necessarily do a reading, because you're going to pick up on the fact that you feel that way. And sometimes the cards can reflect exactly how we're feeling. So it's not really a good time or a good indicator for yourself all the time. So if you're really struggling and you're wanting this answer for yourself, my suggestion would be to just get off the topic, do something else, find a way to kind of get your mind off of it, and find a way to bring yourself some joy. Because whenever we find joy, our vibration rises. And whenever our vibration rises, we become a closer vibrational match to our spirit guides. And whenever that happens, we can hear their guidance a lot more clearly. And then you'll be able to truly hear the answer of what they're telling you on this subject matter, okay? So just use this as a fun tool to help yourself get clarity, or if you're reading for someone else. But at the end of the day, always trust your own intuition and use discernment. But I hope this helps someone. Now, let me know in the comments about your intuition. Do you have a story about your intuition guiding you or leading you to find out about someone not necessarily being a truth teller? Let me know. I want to hear it.